The Second Punic War was a huge battle fought between two powerful empires, Rome and Carthage. It lasted from 218 BC to 201 BC, and it was part of a long history of conflicts called the Punic Wars. This war is one of the most famous in ancient history because of the incredible events that happened during it. Welcome to Dark Side Tale. The main reason the Second Punic was started was because of a fight over land and power. Rome and Carthage were both strong civilizations in the Mediterranean, and both wanted to control important areas of land. Carthage was located in Africa, modern-day Tunisia, and was very rich land and power. Rome and Carthage were both strong civilizations in the Mediterranean, and both wanted to control important areas of land. Carthage was located in North Africa, modern-day Tunisia, and was very rich because of its trade routes across the Mediterranean. They had control over parts of Spain, which gave them resources like silver and soldiers. Rome, on the other hand, had already taken control of Italy and was expanding its power. As Rome grew stronger, Carthage became worried about its growing influence. The already fought empires had the First Punic War over control of Sicily, and now they were about to fight again. This part that started the Second Punic War was the Carthaginian expansion in Spain. Rome wanted to stop Carthage from getting too powerful in Spain. So they took action. Hannibal, the famous general of Carthage, attacked the Roman ally's second term in Spain, which led Rome to declare war. The Second Punic War is famous for its great battles and important people involved. Hannibal. Hannibal was the general of Carthage, and is remembered for his brilliant military strategies. He is famous for marching his army, which included elephants, over the Alps into Italy. This was a huge surprise attack on Rome. Hannibal's strategy was to cause fear and confusion in Rome by invading its territory, and it worked. He won several big battles early in the war, including the Battle of Cannae, and was eventually defeated in the Battle of Zama. The Battle of Cannae. This is one of the most famous battles in the war. Hannibal's army defeated the Romans by using clever tactics. He surrounded the Roman soldiers in a way that made them unable to escape, and the Romans lost around 70,000 soldiers. Was a huge defeat for Rome. Scipio Africanus. Scipio learned from the Roman defeats and became a brilliant strategist. Scipio's big moment came in the Battle of Zama, 202 BC, where he defeated Hannibal's forces in North Africa. The Battle of Zama, it was the final and most important battle of the Second Punic War. Scipio Africanus used Hannibal's own tactics against him and defeated him, forcing Carthage to surrender. After this battle, Rome became the most powerful empire in the Mediterranean. The war lasted for more than 16 years, and during this time, many important events took place. Hannibal's army marched across the Alps into Italy, shocking the Romans. They didn't expect him to come through the mountains with elephants, and it gave him a big advantage. Early in the war, he was able to win several victories in Italy, including the famous Battle of Cannae. During these early years, it seemed like Carthage was winning. Hannibal's army roamed freely in Italy, and the Romans couldn't stop him. Rome tried to fight back by sending armies to meet Hannibal, but his tactics were always ahead of them. He used ambushes, deceptive moments, and the element of surprise to outsmart the Roman legions. Hannibal's strategy was to weaken the Romans by causing confusion and fear among them. Even though Hannibal was winning battles, Rome didn't give up. They realized that fighting Hannibal in Italy wasn't working, so they tried something new. Instead of focusing all their efforts on Italy, the Romans began attacking Carthage's ally and other parts of the Carthaginian Empire. They also started training new soldiers and made their armies stronger. They focused on outlasting Hannibal, but not letting him win a final battle. The Romans knew that if they could hurt Carthage enough, it would force Hannibal to return home and defend his city. They also started sending forces to Spain, which was a key source for Carthage. By cutting off Carthage's supply of soldiers and money, Rome hoped to weaken their enemy. While Hannibal was still in Italy, the Romans realized that they needed a great general to beat him. This is where Scipio Africanus comes in. Scipio was sent to North Africa to attack Carthage directly. His plan was to force Hannibal to leave Italy and defend Carthage. Scipio's strategy worked by attacking Carthage, his home. He forced Hannibal to leave Italy and return to defend the city. This gave Scipio an advantage, and he eventually faced Hannibal in the Battle of Zama in 202 BC. At the Battle of Zama, Scipio, Africanus, outsmarted Hannibal. The two generals fought with everything they had, but Scipio used his knowledge of Hannibal's tactics to win. After the defeat, Carthage was forced to surrender. They had to agree to pay a huge fine, give up their lands in Spain, and reduce the size of their military. The Second Punic had big consequences for both Rome and Carthage. For Rome, the victory in the Second Punic War was huge. Rome had been threatened by Carthage and was afraid of losing its power. But after winning, Rome became the most powerful empire in the Mediterranean. They expanded their control over Spain, Sicily, and other territories. The Romans didn't just win land, they also gained wealth and resources that helped them grow even stronger. Rome's power grew so much that they became the dominant force in the Mediterranean world. They continued to expand their empire for the next few centuries, becoming one of the largest empires in history. For Carthage, the consequences were devastating. After their defeat, Carthage had to agree on harsh terms. They had to pay a large amount of money to Rome, which left them financially weak. They also had to give up their land in Spain and reduce their military power. Carthage was no longer the dominant power in the Mediterranean, and it couldn't recover from the loss. Carthage would later try to rebuild its power, but they were never able to recover to the level they had before the war. Eventually, Rome would destroy Carthage completely in the Third Punic War. Second Punic War changed the way people saw Rome. Before the war, Rome was just one of many small kingdoms. After the war, Rome became the leading power in the Mediterranean, and its culture, laws, and army influenced the entire region. The Romans also learned important lessons from the war. They improved their military and built better roads, making it easier to move soldiers and supplies. The war also taught Rome about the importance of good leadership and generals like Scipio Africanus, who became famous for his strategies. Thanks for watching. And stay tuned, as we will be launching a whole series on Roman Empire.